And I'm Dan Richo.
And we are here at BMO Field for a special midweek edition of the show because TFC played Man City.
Yeah, it's Man City, as I've screwed up a few times before, but I won't this time. At least I'll try. Yeah, this was, I don't want to be too harsh, but I could have done some better things with my Wednesday night.
Yeah, a big waste of time. From a media standpoint, I think even from a fan standpoint, because if it hadn't been for George Evans' golazo, really, there would have been no reason to show up at all.
George who?
George Evans. Why is that? Is that special or something? Okay.
Wait, were you expecting Dzeko or Aguero to score a golazo?
Well, Aguero had a few chances. So did David Silva, and Bendik and Bono were able to make the stops
with their face, because Bono definitely took it off the face today. But
Bono definitely made the best stop of the night, and it was with his face on a 6-yarder from David Silva that just hit him in the face. Bono was good though.
He was.
You know, you want to talk about TFC's first draft pick this year. He really, he commanded his area well. He was confident. Even playing against the big side like that, he really showed everything you would like to. You can't really blame him for the goal. It was an absolute beauty. So there's not much you can take away from him there. He looked really good. As I was joking on Twitter, we could maybe even add another name to the goalkeeper controversy in due time.
That's right. And speaking about goalkeeper controversy, Joe Bendik did make his return to action today, although he only saw about half an hour or so of the first half. But it's good to see him back in the goalkeeper net.
Yeah, and I think what we're looking at here is that Chris, don't call me Zenon, Konopka. He was in street clothes. TFC dressed 3 goalies tonight, and Konopka was not one of them. So I think that's a good sign that maybe Konopka has at least won the job. Now, maybe he hasn't per se done more than Bendik, but the team is winning, and they look more comfortably. They look more comfortable, in English, I should say. They look more comfortable with him in goal in MLS play. And whether that be something that he's doing, or maybe it's just something of the team is getting a little bit more comfortable with each other, either way, it looks like, to me at least, Konopka is the guy going forward until maybe a slip-up.
Yep, and we saw 23,169 people in the crowd today, or at least that was...
You're good at counting.
That was at least the official attendance, although I'm pretty sure I could have counted all the people on one hand. Maybe 2. No.
There was a decent crowd, probably more than I thought. I mean, the south end there, the lower bowl was probably pretty full. And the south end, as usual, was always full. This north end here, under where we are right now, wasn't too full. So it wasn't 23,000, but it wasn't a horrible attendance per se.
Especially for a Wednesday evening match.
Where it was supposed to be torrential downpours all night long.
Although, unfortunately for us, that did hold off, and it's still not raining if you look outside, which is good because the walk to my car will be a lot easier.
Well, I just want to mention something, though. It looks like away supporters are being stuck way up in the corner back there. I guess that would be the northeast end of the stadium, of the new east extension. Right. So that's where the new digs are for you traveling fans, anybody watching. Portland were sitting up there, and I saw the Manchester City fan group sitting up there tonight as well.
Yep. We also did see the likes of Sebastian Jovinko, Michael Bradley in the first half, although they did not play anywhere near a full 90. I think Jovinko played probably like 25 minutes, if that. Michael Bradley a little bit more, but not much either. 5 substitutions in total at halftime, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was 5 subs at halftime. Jovinko came off along with Bendik inside of 30 minutes. And, whatever. The dumbest part of the night, and if you're one of those TFC fans watching and you joined in on the booing of Sebastian Jovinko being taken off within 30 minutes of the game starting, I mean, what's wrong with you? Come on. This is not a real game.
Hey.
There is a real game on Saturday.
And this was our city versus Man City, all right? The fans had a reason to be upset.
And Jovinko's nursing a bit of a foot injury. It's not anything really serious, but it's something they're monitoring, a lot of bruising and stuff like that.
Yeah, and from our point of view, the media, usually this is the part of the show where we throw to an interview, but we dedicated our resources to Man City today, and unfortunately, we couldn't get Jack. You'll fill in the explicit there because
Shit.
yeah, producer Boz will do it for me because this was a complete. I mean, nobody was talking, and I'm pretty sure they were instructed not to talk. And the one person who did do an interview did it with the Guardian because they don't get enough access in England. So let's fly across the pond and do an interview with the one outlet we do an interview with every single practice and post game. So
And Jesus Navas spoke in Spanish to somebody.
And you know what? Producer Boz, very upset because Bosnian heritage, and there were a lot of Bosnian flags in the crowd today as well. Bosnian heritage, this was his big chance to get the one-on-one with Njeko, and when he asked him in Bosnian, he looked at him and just said, not happening, bro. Not happening.
They were being escorted out,
Yeah.
you know, and Joe Hart and James Milner, boring James Milner, were walking out with their Blue Jays gear as well. Because, you know, if you haven't seen the video, it's actually pretty funny of them spending a day with Jose Bautista. You can get it on the Manchester City Twitter feed. I believe we tweeted it out at some point as well.
Russell Martin and Batista were both in attendance this evening.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Well, there's something you don't hear every day.
As was the Canadian women's national
Where
team.
was Deonor Navarro? He's the big soccer fan. They always ask him about Barcelona. He keeps a Barcelona jersey in his locker. Do you know that?
I did not know that, but that is interesting. And the Canadian women's national team were in attendance today as well, so that was nice to see. Probably the highlight of the night.
Yeah. One thing we do have to mention before we finish up: the 5 subs at half. There was 5 academy players in the 11 for the second half, and they looked pretty good. You know, there was Jordan Hamilton. He had a couple of chances. Jay Chapman played the full 90. He was really good, actually, tonight, I thought. And Chris Manella played well in midfield, helping them keep possession, as well as Manny Aparicio. So there was a lot to take away from, I guess, from an academy side. I don't know how much you really put into it because City weren't really defending all that hard in this game, but it's still, nonetheless, talking to Jay Chapman after the game, it was a big experience. You could see the excitement on his face.
Yep. And we'll be back here on Saturday night as Toronto FC take on the San Jose Earthquakes without our favorite player, Innocent Amagata, who is out for the season. So unfortunately, we won't get the chance to talk to him. But we will be back here, TFC Pitchside. Hashtag it on Twitter, TFC_Pitchside on Instagram. Subscribe.
On YouTube.
Comment. SoundCloud.
At DanRicho590.
At Kubani7. Peace.
At TFC 2012.
At TFC 2012.
Oh, how could we forget TFC 2012? This is an epic picture of mediocrity. It's probably not even mediocrity. I mean, it's the great year of the Torsten Frings.
And by the way, this is Tim Bezbachenko's press box. So as you can see, this is what motivates him
We have
going
a
forward.
wonderful PR man, Mike Massaro, who's still around these days. Paul Mariner as well. He was
ESPN FC.
He is beautiful on ESPN, giving us all our soccer news nowadays. Other than that, Ashton Morgan, you know, it's it's pretty sparse pickings of who's actually still on the team.
But we're still here, and we will be here.
Will we
on
be here in
Saturday
2 years? We don't know.
Will the team still be here in 2 years?
If you
We don't
subscribe
know.
to the video, we might be.
Peace.